You know the memes where people are talking about the different ways to organize their Minecraft hotbar and how theirs is so much better? How come none of those memes ever show off my way of organizing the hotbar, which is clearly the best way? Well, the answer is that people are wrong about lots of things. It's not just hotbars, it's also things like blocks and the best ones to use. You might think that cobwebs are just a nuisance you find in abandoned mineshafts. However, they're actually very useful as a survival item. As you can see, it works sort of like water or hay bales. It's also useful for making a place look kind of abandoned and spooky looking if you really want to, but they're also really useful for all sorts of other things, and let me show you the most ridiculous idea I had today, because cobwebs take 13 seconds to fall through entirely, and this affects stacks for the number of cobwebs that you're falling into. This means falling into 2 of them will take a full 26 seconds, which is kind of ridiculous, you might think. Everyone has been slowed down by these at some point and been mildly annoyed. However, my question is, you know what would be really fun? What if you didn't take 1 or 2 cobwebs, or maybe even a few of these together? What if instead you took as many of these as possible and you used them to absolute ludicrous effect? Well, to do that, you'd need to get, what, the sky limit worth of cobwebs? If you're curious about how I'm going to get myself so many cobwebs, by the way, I actually have a couple of mineshafts in this world which I have found and just never really gotten around to exploring, one of which is below my fully drained ocean. I took an ocean and over many hours, which is all publicly on live streams by the way, I drained the entire thing besides this chunk right here, and it just so happens that below the chunk that I didn't drain, there is a mineshaft. So we're going to look around and we're going to take every single cobweb we can. Again, fun fact, even though I have an enchanted set of shears here, you don't need them. You can use any set of shears you want, but you know, you might as well go enchanted if you can. It makes the hotbar a lot more vibrant in my opinion. So I have about 100 of these, which is nice, but it's not quite sky limit nice, and so I'm gonna have to go back to quite an old find, because do you remember when there were infinite mineshafts? If you don't, let me show you something weird. I had to go quite a substantial distance in my nether to reach this portal, actually. I mean, it's a really long, really straight path, which is nice. You know, making roads is fun. It's important Minecraft infrastructure, and as it turns out, I have more than one nether tunnel. This one goes for thousands and thousands of blocks, and it's really cool to see in fast forward, right? Also, I hate to admit, but I am quite territorial about it, and I don't like other mobs using it. So I do have a little bit of a no mobs policy, but either way, you can see 2,000 blocks traveled in a lot less than the 7 minutes it actually took me. Let me show you what's in the overworld on the other side of it though. Because a while back, there was this weird bug in Minecraft. It'd been around for years and years, but because it was at 16,000 on the coordinates, most players wouldn't have noticed or experienced it, and that is really interesting in my opinion, because if we just head in this direction, we'll find a weird hole in the ground that leads to a weird bug. I think it's somewhere in the spruce forest. I know it happened at 0 and then like 16,400. I hope I'll find a clear hole. If I don't find a clear hole, we'll make our own hole. That is a life pro tip with you right there. But yeah, basically my goal, is it going to be underneath this lake somewhere? I see a floating block and a nether portal, so I think it is, yeah. So as you can see from my floating dirt block, I'm guessing over here somewhere there is a hole going all the way down to a mine shaft. I guess incorrectly. I guess there's just a random block that I broke for no good reason. What it was is I replaced the block above it because I didn't want water to pour into my mine shaft. But you know what, that's the least of my issues. And yeah, here's the cool thing about it. The mine shafts just kept generating every single chunk on one of the directions, so as long as we can keep seeing more mineshaft, and presumably lots of mineshafts interacting, we're going to see a lot of this otherwise very rare cobweb block, which I can take advantage of, which is kind of nice. I mean, you can find mineshafts naturally the normal way, but apparently, if you play Minecraft Bedrock, you can also just find them this way. My god, there's just so much of it. Oh, that's fun too. Okay, now just do the zippity zip zip cup. Okay, I've officially filled up my inventory with cobwebs. I could probably go a little bit further, actually, if I remove the kind of silly things. But I'm mostly filled up, and I think that means I'm ready to go. If you want to know about one of the magical benefits of cobwebs, by the way, look at this. Doesn't make any sense, and, well, you know, doesn't even help you out.
Genius!
I guess that makes it double not make any sense. It's not even a good idea, but you're free to do it if you like, just like how I was free to get literally hundreds of cobwebs from this place, which I'll now be taking home with me. As convenient as it is to get cobwebs by using this weird repeating mineshaft thing, it does mean that I'm going to have to do another 7-minute walk back home, which is maybe a good argument, but wait, where is this? This is not the portal I went in. Where's my... Okay, well, you know, that's confusing. Did I go in this portal? I feel like I didn't, right? I was hoping I'd have a really cool, like, reverse footage shot of me walking through the tunnel, but instead it's just me mining desperately, trying to find my tunnel. I mean, how do you lose a tunnel? Apparently, I'm the only example of that, because now I'm mining through nether caves, and, you know, this is reminding me of my current big project. I'm doing this as a little break from that, not as a reminder of it, damn it. If you don't know, I'm currently mining through the nether over 100,000 blocks. I've got a lot of netherrack, and so I really don't care about the ones I'm collecting right now. What I do care about, though, is getting my cobwebs home, which I'm sure will happen in no time. Fast forward time, whoa! Sometimes you gotta patch up projects as you're walking past them, okay? It's an opportunity we might as well not waste. I mean, we had the stone anyway. Let's turn it into something. Okay, back to the walk through the frozen nether now. Now I finally have the cobwebs which I need to do some... let's be honest, some pretty stupid stuff. I mean, isn't it fun that instead of using an elevator shaft on the up direction in the fastest way possible, we could use it downwards to make it super slow? Imagine, for example, just as a crazy example here, if we had some cobwebs, let's just say, you know, let's go really crazy on this one. Let's just say we have 7 separate cobwebs, 8 separate cobwebs. How long would it take to fall through that? Well, I mean, probably no time at all, right? If we just climb up the stairs in our now defunct building we used to sell now defunct Toy Cat keyrings. But if you look at this, you can see that 8 whole cobwebs take so long to fall through. But even though 8 cobwebs takes a long time to fall through, I can't help but wonder what is the longest fall we can create in Minecraft. And obviously, the logical way to start this is just to say, well, we're going to need a very tall... You know what, this is very slightly too high for me to break, and that's infuriating. But obviously, the way you start this... Okay, wait, here's my idea. I'll jump into a cobweb, and then I'll use the cobweb to help me get that cobweb. Aha!
Genius!
Technically works. Okay, so here's my idea. What if we didn't use 8 cobwebs, but instead used enough cobwebs to go from the world height down? And so here I am at my Sky Island colony. I brought up a skeleton horse, and a bed, and a villager. What happened to the villager? Who knows? But yeah, there's an interesting place up here that's 320 blocks in the sky. It's so high in the sky you can't see anything down below, and that's why it's so scary. Who wants to take the risk of jumping off here and potentially getting themselves in trouble when what they could do instead, you know, the much smarter thing to do, would be instead to take the safe way down. So I don't actually know how we're going to place cobwebs on the side of scaffolds. That's something we're going to play around with right now. I think I'm in a cobweb. So, you know what, there we go. So I think we just go down, and then we place on the side. There we go. This is a very weird way to do cobwebs, but it is going to work. And yeah, let's now place all the way down to ground level. and now we have a cobweb tower that goes all the way from sky height, 320 blocks, down here to the ground. But you know, I feel like we could always do better, right? I feel as though if we're trying to get the slowest fall, you know, we do have to go a little step above that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to dig down all the way down to bedrock layer. Because what if I want to go comfortably down to bedrock? Well, I would need exactly what I'm proposing to myself right now. Going to use my silk touch pickaxe for this because I need those stone blocks clearly for the nether. And yeah, let's now do the exact same thing, but there's a lot of mining involved too. Now that I have placed over 370 cobwebs in a direct vertical line, one above another, I feel like there's only one logical thing left to do, right? That's to see exactly how long it actually takes to go down an entire line of these. I mean, it won't be long, right? You know, if I only get one jump for the next couple of hours, I want to make sure it counts. So let's try that again. You know what? I wasn't happy with that either. Okay, one more try. Let's do this. There we go. Let's see how long it takes me to fall down. We'll do it from first person though, so you get a more consistent view. I mean, we're already at layer 318, so we'll be at the bottom in no time, right? Timer start. Well, I mean, the timer started, but like, timer, gameplay, speed up. Meow. That's annoying that happened. So we've been going for a pretty long time. However, technically to make the slowest fall in Minecraft, what we're going to have to do is add a little bit of our own power to this as well. Maybe a potion or two. Does that even actually change anything? I guess we'll find out as we fall. And there we go, we have officially reached the bottom. And wow, it was only a short couple of hours, really. Honestly, that is one of the most ridiculous things. I AFK'd, I went all the way across the city, I got food, okay. Well, that went badly. I went all the way across the city, I got food in the time that, no, why is this not working correctly? Yeah, I think this is a cool thing to have here. You know, sometimes don't you want to slow really fully? Yeah, you definitely say slow really fully. That's the correct way to explain that one. But yeah, I personally just think this is a little bit of a monument to Minecraft because it does take a lot of effort to get this many cobwebs. However, you know, I don't think it's time to be done. We've still got some spare cobwebs lying around. Not in my inventory, clearly. But I've still got some spare cobwebs lying around, and I feel like it's time to give them a use, because cobwebs aren't just useful for when you want the biggest fall in Minecraft, although, you know, I do recommend trying this yourself. It's one of the most exhilarating times you'll have, because again, you can definitely sit there and enjoy the entire ride. The last 10 blocks, I was actually thrilled, just waiting, you know, any second now we'd reach the bottom. It was going to be amazing. But yeah, we can use cobwebs for all sorts of different purposes. If we just throw a few of them over here, this is my previous attempt at a sheep farm that I later covered up with stone. If we put a few cobwebs here and there, it makes the very clear message that it is depreciated. If you want to make your house just a little bit spookier. So for instance, back when I thought I'd be doing more fishing than I would be doing, I mean, I spent like 12 hours fishing when I lost my elytra a million blocks away, and I've never gone back into fishing in the same way. Maybe I'm traumatized, or maybe that's just that. So this is my fishing, this is my cabin in the woods to go fishing in. I like it. It was a fun idea, but I'm never going to come here, and so we'll admit the idea is depreciated by putting here and there just the odd cobweb, maybe even in the window there, just a way to show that it's an older build than it is. Again, it's a nice, easy block to get, but it's also a block that can make it very clear exactly what's happening. But one of the greatest uses for these, in my opinion, might not be for anything like that, because, yeah, hey, look at that. It's a very small touch that shows off a lot. Also, this was a very ugly cabin. Can we all agree on that? Like, it's perfectly flat on the sides, and, you know, that's fine. You can be as ugly as you want. That's something that people don't tell you, actually. Because one of the things I feel like we have to mention at least a little bit here is that the world is filled with this big nature of like, yeah, we are trying to fix every form of inequality and thing in the world, and it's like a really noble goal. But I feel like the one that's always at the top of the list that we like, you know, kind of can't, or maybe, you know, we turn the blind eye to because it benefits people in the right way at the right times, is like really the biggest form of like benefit is being conventionally attractive. And the biggest downside to your life is being conventionally ugly. There's something called the halo effect, where genuinely, the way that you show someone as being guilty is you just show them as being unattractive while doing normal things, and the way you show someone as being innocent or a hero is just show them being, like, above average in forms of attractiveness. That is why, if you don't know, you should wear a suit to court, is because you want to look the very best you can. Look like a professional, don't look like a vagrant. Anyway, so the last place I can use these cobwebs is just over here, because I've got this forest which I shaved all the leaves off. I think it was a fun idea, but it does look a bit weird by itself. I think what might make it look better, I think we should stick actually just to the birch trees. I think what will make this place look a bit better and more spooky, especially, is if we just have a few cobwebs here and there. Should we just place them all the way on the side of the tree, or like place them like you'd place leaves? Let's go for a weird hybrid of both of those approaches. There we go. I don't know what that's meant to be. We'll work it out as we go, I guess. I've got the cobwebs to do so. Yeah, it's the world is actually an interesting place filled with lots of people who have their own biases and etc. But the one that I think actually is inside the most people is there's a tendency towards like I'd say towards like youthfulness is like how a lot of people view things. Like, but you either hate youthfulness or you love it. But like it's the thing that's actually behind. Because people like to believe there's something called like, there's this thing called the media that genuinely tells you what's attractive and what's not. And it's probably true that you're shaping your views of like, oh, what is stylish and what isn't, by what you see in some form of media, whether that's online, or, you know, like social media things, or whatever that is. If you think about fashion shows, the whole reason they work is because they take really ugly, terrible pieces of fashion, terrible piece of fashion to the normal person, and they say, look, this can work on these models, and so, you take the most attractive portion of people in the world, and you make them wear what is otherwise very ugly clothes, and it makes the clothes look somewhat okay, decent, and so if you want to wear weird fashion that stands out, you're like, well, it looked good on those people, it might look good on me, and, I mean, whether it will or not, entirely different question. But, so the Let's Play world, by the way, it had an update last week. You might not have known, but it did. And, I've been putting a lot of hours into this recently. Like, the section of the Let's Play that is like, so what have you been up to, Toycat, is one I want to kind of dive into a bit here. Because what I've been up to is playing so much Minecraft. Like, a lot of Minecraft. And that's partially because I'm streaming a lot of it. I really have gotten into a little bit of, I'm doing a big project, you're probably familiar with it. And although I think it's like fun to switch out here and there, it still just means I've been doing a lot of that. And I want to make the little promotion here that, like, yeah, obviously, if you like the Let's Play in its traditional form, I don't, the traditional form of Let's Play on this channel, which is just 30 to 50 minutes of like, let's have a real talk, it doesn't work as a YouTube video anymore. If we're being honest, it barely works as a stream. But like, I like these streams as an opportunity to do what you might like from this end of the Let's Play. And so, yeah, I just want to give you a recommendation for that. I also want to say, I want to believe otherwise. You know how I did a 10-hour Let's Play and it was the dumbest thing? If you don't know I did the 10-hour Let's Play, maybe you should watch it. It's a fun time. If not, maybe we should make like a highlight reel or something. But I want to try like one more time of like, let's just do a super long uncut video. But this time I think we just need a punchy 30-second intro. So next week's Let's Play, or the next Let's Play, let's not say next week's, we kind of moved from being a every Monday series, Let's Play Monday, to kind of like, okay, we need to make sure we get it right. YouTube's current system is like a bad video hurts you a lot more than a good video helps you, and so it's like, okay, you gotta make sure you're doing right. Yeah, having it be at the base looks really strange. Have it being at the base and the tip looks very strange too, though. Maybe I should have it be like between the trees, so like, you see this idea there? That looks kind of cool, right? Am I just placing cobwebs randomly at this point? It kind of looks that way. See, then we'll bridge across here as well. Just like, make it, you know, more interesting. You get me? Also, we're gonna get sheep trapped in here. Like, kind of like it's a wall made by a spider or something. You know, just a little bit of lore here or there. Doesn't do anyone any harm. Makes the place a lot more interesting and spooky or something, maybe. But yeah, so I want to make I'm mentioning it now, so like if you see it, the best thing you can do is you know, like give it your best shot. And yeah, a part of me is always like, you know, what do we have to play by the YouTube rules, or can we define? And it's like you can't actually just define the algorithm. You're playing by some set of you know, rules that exist, and that's the funny thing about the world, right? Maybe you could call that attractive proof. Maybe you could call that like how most people have to exist. It's like you can ignore a very, like 90% of rules are just fake. You can ignore them. They exist for like using when people use them really egregiously. Like I don't know. So what's a crime that everyone does all the time but only gets prosecuted sometimes? You know, maybe theft is a good example actually. Like, you know, stealing is a crime, but if you steal under a certain dollar amount, the police genuinely just won't come after you. It's not worth their time or whatever. Is it really a crime to steal? And the answer is like, yeah. Will you get in trouble for it? No. But do you still choose not to do it? Yes. Isn't that interesting? There's I learned recently, because I'm in the United States right now. That's not where I'm from, in case you're curious. But I learned in this state you can drive. Not only can you carry guns openly, apparently that's just the norm in most of the US. But also you can sit in the back of a pickup truck. As long as you're over the age of 18, and it's just legal, like, because apparently you can sit back there. Like, that's the stereotype of what people do in movies, right? Or like, you know, you go to Home Depot, people get in the back of your truck. Anyway, so I learned that because of those two things being together, you can sit in the back of a pickup truck with a shotgun if you really want to, and who's gonna stop you? And either that's beautiful or terrible. I haven't worked out which yet, but that's the cool thing about cultural differences. Just like how the cool thing about this video is realizing that cobwebs have been around and we just haven't taken advantage of them. Honestly, this is inspiring me so much to be like, you know, I have a lot of cobwebs. I've got 27 left, apparently. I've got a lot of cobwebs now. Wouldn't it be cool if I got enough cobwebs to make a giant cobweb house? Or even just a giant cobweb block? But like, can you imagine that? Like, it would look like this somewhat. You'd, you know, this torch will be our entrance. You go around like that, and you could actually make a whole house entirely out of cobwebs. Is this the best idea I've ever had, or the worst idea? I'd love to know your thoughts. But for now, thank you for watching this episode of the Let's Play, where I answered the question you didn't have, but you know you secretly wanted to, which is how long is the longest fall in Minecraft? It took me many, many hours, but now we know the answer. But do we need to know the answer? That's a question you can ask yourself. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think of my cobweb idea, because if so, we can spend like a few hours mining cobwebs and make like a mega structure from it. And if you think that's terrible, then you know what, you're wrong. I'm going to do it anyway. So thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, because it's going to be extra long, and it's going to be maybe the best or worst idea, but I'm looking forward to it regardless. So hopefully you are too. And if you're not, then that's okay, because I'll see you in the next one. Bye.